everyone. Today we're going to have some engine updates, talk about a giveaway, and then some tools that are really awesome to have on hand. So update-wise, you guys might find this interesting, I'm not for sure, but we're not going to go with a hydraulic roller cam. It's going to be a flat tappet cam. It's a bit of a headache to convert it over to hydraulic, so we're just going old school flat tappet. I'm trying to think, looking for an intake right now. That's the big thing I'm looking for, and trying to guess at how much fuel I'm going to need. So I can't decide what carburetor intake to go with. But other than that, I believe that's it engine update wise. It should get in the shop within the next week or so. And other than that, I don't really have any other updates at the moment. I mean, I have a full cart on Summit Racing. But giveaway, we're going to do a 500 follower giveaway. Honestly, I call it a 500 follower giveaway. It's really just because I want to do a giveaway because I'm really excited. But what is on the option for the giveaway is the cam that came out of the 327. I'm not giving it away as a usable cam necessarily, but as something that someone might want to decorate with. A lot of people are into welding and making stuff out of these. One guy was talking about how he might make a lamp out of it. And the other thing I'm going to give away, or would like to give away, is a socket set. It's not going to be a fancy socket set, but my plan is to help other people with working on vehicles and getting them started. So it's just going to be a basic socket set. It'll have everything you should need for a rebuild. My first socket set was a Stanley socket set. I actually have it here. But it was life-changing for me to have my own socket set. The only tools I had before were just hand-me-down tools that were just like a random drawer full of bunches of sockets, and it was just a mess. But whenever I got my first socket set, I was actually able to rebuild my sister's car for her and do a front-end rebuild on this, and it just made life so much easier, and it was just amazing. So the reason those are two separate, different type giveaway things are because a lot of people, whoever wins, they may not need a socket set, they might already have one. And so they might be a little bit more advanced, and they might be able to do something with the cam. But either which way, it's totally fine. Whichever one, I'm gonna let the winner decide which one they would like. To win the giveaway is what I would like you guys to do is go make a post on Instagram and talk about a project. It doesn't have to be a project car. It can be rebuilding a house. It can literally be whatever your project is. There's no limits to it. And tag me in the picture. Don't tag me. You can tag me in the comments as well. But tag me in the picture so that way I can go on my page and see the things I've been tagged in. If you just tag me in a comment, it just shows up as a notification, and then within a few days I won't be able to see it anymore. So tag me in the picture itself, and again, if you want, you can tag me in the comments. But that's how we're going to do that, and you guys can go and start doing those. I haven't set a final date for what day I'll pick the winner. I'm thinking in 2-3 weeks or so. Maybe sooner, but so go ahead and go get that done. Again, just tag me in the picture. But moving on, I want to talk about some tools that really helped make life a lot easier for me. These are all just kind of basic tools that will make working on any vehicle easy. The first thing I would suggest getting is a socket set. This is just a basic Walmart Stanley socket set. It's a foldable one, but mine, I broke mine off so I could sit this in a drawer. This has metric, standard, all of it. It's got 3/4 and it's a 3/4 socket set and a quarter. But this is my first socket set I actually had that was actually complete, and it was just life changing. So getting one of those will be just amazing. It does not have to be anything fancy whatsoever. Along with sockets, having some deep well sockets will make your life just beyond easy. These always come in handy. I have fancy ones, but these are just Pittsburgh from Harbor Freight, and they are. I prefer to use these over my fancy ones. I feel like whenever I get fancy tools, I'm scared to use them. So I find that using my cheaper tools, I'm not stressed while using them. Again, I have metric and standard in these, and these were just a few bucks from Harbor Freight. And then the next thing I have that I want to talk about is wrenches. I have some Harbor Freight ones. I have too many wrenches in all honesty. But I have these are Walmart ones, the Hyper Tough brand. These ones aren't bad by any means. They're definitely I haven't broken any of them yet. But my Harbor Freight ones I've used more. But this one was just a few bucks, and it comes with metric and standard. so that's why I picked to have this one in the video. And again, you don't need anything fancy, because I also have a Cobalt ratcheting set, and these, I don't use these all that often. Some of these are really nice to have sometimes when you're working on lightly torqued bolts, but sometimes, I don't know how much these can withstand, but some of the older ones couldn't withstand a lot of torque, so the gears inside would break really easy, because there's not a lot of room there for some thick gears. So I don't suggest using these on heavy duty jobs, but they're really nice to have for small, quick little jobs. So wrenches, again, you don't need anything fancy, especially if you're just getting started. Before we move on to some of the bigger things, a can of PB Blaster will make it'll make any job smooth as can be. Again, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies by any means whatsoever, but PB Blaster is going to be your best friend. Even if it's something that should be rusted, just throwing this on there before you get started will just make the install and reinstall so much easier. Some shop towels, they are just really, again, they just come in handy. It's one of the small things you never think about. While we're still talking about sockets, actually, before we move on, wrenches, why it's really nice to have a cheap wrench set is because I'm currently rebuilding the suspension on the rear back here. It's got new shocks and everything, but I got polyurethane bushings for the leaf springs. I needed a way to get a breaker bar or a jack handle on this, so that way I could break one of the nuts loose, because I didn't have enough room for a full-on ratchet to get in there. So I had this just random 11/16 ratchet laying around, and the open end part wouldn't fit inside my jack handle. So since it was just a cheap little one that I didn't care about, I was able to break the end off and allow it to fit in my jack handle. And then I was able to break the nut loose. So the cheap ones, there's nothing wrong with them. A torque wrench is, so a lot of times, especially if you do something to do with the front end where you have to take the tires off, this way you don't have to guess whether your lug nuts will come off. This is just a Cobalt one. It goes up to 250 foot-pounds. They have an electronic one as well. You can go electronic if you like, but I didn't have any need for an electronic one. So having a torque wrench will make it easier for if you're taking on and off tires, you won't have to guess. And to go with that is a nice set of impact sockets. Now these are for impacts, and I have an impact gun I use them with sometimes. But they also fit on my torque wrench, so it's really awesome. It makes it really nice. I can take off just about anything with these that are big enough, and you can use ones that are small. You don't have to have the depot, but having the depot always makes sure that you can take whatever it is off that you're needing off. Another thing that's really handy to have is some sort of pry bar. This is a Cobalt one. I use it more than, I have a bunch of mini ones, mini like actual crowbars, but this one is my favorite. It's got rubber handle, and it's just very useful. Trying to think, it's just, having a pry bar is just awesome, whether it's to scrape a lost bolt off out of like a fender or something like that. It's whatever you're gonna use it for, it'll be very handy. And then back to a ratchet real quick. This is a Cobalt one. This one was on sale at Lowe's, and I didn't think it was going to be as useful as it is, but it is one of the most handy tools I have. It adjusts so you can change the angle, but at the same time, it's not the same length as a normal ratchet. It's about a little less than double, sorry. And then for those stubborn bolts that you round off, I don't know where this came from. It's a Craftsman. This was handed down to me from my grandpa, but it is for rounded off nuts or bolts, whichever one you want to use it for. And this has been life-saving. This has stopped me from spending tons of money, taking a car apart up to a shop to have them weld another nut on there to get stuff off. You just find the size and you tap them on there, and they bite into the metal, so that way you don't have to deal with the rounded corners, so it bites down in there. Another thing that's really handy is a flashlight. You can get away with using your phone, but I'm always worried I'm going to break my phone. This is just a Hyper Tough one. It actually has a USB port on as well, so you can charge stuff. But this one is Walmart brand, and you can adjust the angle, and it has a magnetic on the bottom. I have this Cobalt one. You can adjust the angle however you like. And this one's really nice, but again, I feel with fancy tools, I don't use this one as much as I should because I'm scared I'm going to break it. But this little one is just, it's not hard to hold or anything like that. It's just this little one is, so sometimes I'm just trying to say that sometimes it's the cheaper ones that are the best. And then a jack. Having the right jack makes the world of difference. For the longest time, I used a jack that my grandpa had that was just a few years old, or not a few years. It was really old. It was I think it was from at least every bit of the 70s, and it barely jacked anything up. It was awful. I had to stack at least 3 to 4 2x4s on it to even get the vehicle to move a little bit. And this is just a Pittsburgh Harbor Freight 1.5 ton jack. And I know there's some, when I work on my dad's truck, I need one that does lift like a 3-ton jack. But this one works. It takes a little while, but it works. And on my car, it works perfect. So if you're just dealing with a little car, there's no reason to have a 3-ton jack. A 1.5 ton will work perfectly. But I believe that's it. This is all just some basic stuff that will make working on any vehicle go super smooth. And I just wanted to give you guys a glimpse of that, and so you guys, if you're looking for tools, so you know what tools you should invest in first. Again, we got a giveaway going on, so go make your post and go check out my Instagram. I'll have the link down below, and thanks for watching.